Hello, people of the internet. My name is 𝔬𝕗𝕘𝕐. Welcome back to another Dudes Talk Cinema video. And today we have Ollie.
Hello!
And today we are going to be watching Insidious Out into the Further.
Out of the further.
And today we are going to be watching Insidious. Today we are going to be watching Insidious Out of the Further. Bit like my mental health. Now we're going to start, as usual, we're going to start with our before thoughts before we skip it all over to our after thoughts of the movie. Don't know which one of us is going to go first.
We haven't decided.
No, we have not, good sir. Let's do this.
Okay, so for people that haven't been up to date with our channel, whether you're a new subscriber, hello, welcome, or if you're a current subscriber and you're an imbecile and haven't been up to date with our stuff, I don't know what I was going to say, but whatever. Anyway, me and 𝔬𝕚, we watched the first three Insidious films at his humble abode, yes. I mean, he might go further on with it as well, but yeah, we watched the first three. We couldn't watch the other ones because I had the first two Insidious films on Blu-ray and the third film on DVD, but I couldn't find the fourth and fifth film anywhere, charity shop, CEX, anywhere. So even if I had all five available to me, we couldn't watch it all in one day because, you know, we only have so much time to watch films. So anyway, if you want to hear our thoughts on those first three films, go check them out. I heard the reason why we're watching this and not watching the other ones is apparently this is not like a necessity to watch the fourth and fifth film. The fourth film's a sequel to the prequel, the third film, and then the fifth one is technically the third film with the Lambert family, with, you know, Josh and
It reminds me too much of the Fox universe of the X-Men timeline.
So yeah, we weren't able to watch 4 and 5 for that reason alone mainly, but it's okay. Apparently this is kind of its own thing, but obviously one character is returning, which is Elise, I believe that's her name, the old lady who's the spiritualist medium. So she's going to be back, so it's going to be interesting to see her character develop, hopefully, if there's development in this film. Is this going to be a hit? Is it going to be a miss? We don't know, of course, until we come out. But yeah, yeah. I mean, with this franchise history, again, only what, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago when we watched them. First one thought was meh. Second one was better. Actually, they kind of got progressively better. The first one was kind of meh. The second one was a little bit better, and then the third one was our favourite of the three we watched. So they got progressively better, which is good, because we watched the first one and we were like, oh god, please don't be a mediocre franchise, for God's sake. And considering that the Insidious Cinematic Universe, if you want to call it, it's short for, well, the short version for it is ICU, which is of course the Intensive Care Unit, I think that's what it's pronounced. And after watching the first film, I was worried that's where we're going to end up. So, but no, well, luckily I was wrong, and yeah, we enjoyed the other two sequels more as they went on. So yeah, I have high hopes. I hope it's good. I've only seen one trailer. I think it was a teaser or one of the first trailers that came out. It was in the cinema. I watched it and thought it looks right. But again, I hadn't seen any of the Insidious films up to that point, so I really wasn't aware of what was going on. So in a way, I'm kind of glad, because I haven't seen it since the trailer, since watching the three films that we watched. But I have I hope it's good. I keep saying high hopes, but I hope it's really good. Hopefully, it's the best one out of the three. Well, out of the four we'll be watching. Or is it going to be a
absolute ass?
Yeah, absolute ass. Waste of time. We will let you know when we come out. But yeah, not really much else to really say. This is a brand new cast, again, aside from 𝔬𝕚, who plays, again, Elise, whatever the fucking name is, I don't know. apart from her, it's a new cast, from what I know, unless there's going to be like a Marvel cameo from Patrick Wilson. or roast Byrne. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I just hope it's good, and I'm sure we'll have at least if we don't have a good time, at least hopefully if we don't at least enjoy it, hopefully we can at least laugh how bad it is, because that's what we kind of did with the first Insidious film. But I do hope it's good. So yeah, pass on to Nerdtube.
I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. I didn't know this movie was coming out until I saw the trailer in the cinema. Now, I don't know too much about this movie, but there was that scene I liked in the trailer. Like, there was that pillow fort scene. I thought that looked really good. And now that I've watched the other Insidious movies, I'm definitely intrigued about how this one's gonna go. Now, obviously, me and Ollie, not seen the 4th or 5th. And if he can't find anywhere, that's understandable. Physical media will one day get fucked.
I hope not.
I'm praying. I'm praying it's not going to end up like fucking Cyberpunk or something like that. But anyway, now, I thought the first film was... It was bad. I thought, especially with that fucking dance sequence with the boy dancing to SpongeBob music.
Oh, tiptoe through the window, up Uranus.
We should put that as a song, or like they
Going
should do.
down on your mum.
Oh Jesus Christ, we have not matured at all.
Follow me in iTunes.
Fucking hell. Just get your Spotify premium subscription and then you can listen to a soundtrack. Anyway, thought the first film was a bit shit. Well, is shit. The second one was definitely an improvement to the first, though it wasn't as high as I hoped. Now, the third one is our personal favorite because, like, obviously it has a story. Everything feels more consistent. It doesn't, like... I don't think it contradicts, like, what most prequels do. Because the problem with prequels is that you're always on the edge of, like, contradicting of what the original events have established. Like, that's the problem I have with prequels. I think this one did a good job.
Yeah, when you have prequels, it's like, usually you get answers to questions that you don't want answer to.
Yeah. Now, I don't have a lot of thoughts when it comes to this film, but then again, if I don't have any expectations for certain films, I can see it as a good thing. Because that way I don't have to be as negative or antagonistic towards a specific film. That is, unless it contradicts what the original films have established. Then you're gonna fucking see me pissed. Anyway, I don't have much to say, other than the fact that I might be interested about where they're gonna take this film. That, from what Ollie told me, from the lore he's told me about these films, about where the films take place, I'm just gonna assume they're just as confusing as the X-Men timeline in the Fox universe. Who knows? That's all I got to say. World preview.
Insidious ℚ𝕚𝕚 now playing.
Alright, we just got out of the film and I'm going to start with my positives. I really liked the story. I really liked what they were going with. I really liked how they were trying to deal with generational trauma and all that. I also like how they kept everything consistent with what they've done with the previous films. I really like the sound design in this one, especially like with that dentist scene. It fucking grossed me and Ollie out, mind. And I did like the pillow fort one, despite it being a bit unintentionally funny. What else did I like? I like the music, I like the cinematography. The acting, I think, is much better in this one than in previous installments. Onward, I'm mixed. I'm a bit mixed when it comes to the ending. Because, like, I thought they were going to go with a sacrifice for this one and continuing that generational trauma. I guess not. I guess, well, fuck me, I guess. Because, so, like, at the... Spoilers, by the way. At the ending of the movie, the protagonist, I can't be asked to remember what her fucking...
𝔬𝕚? Is it the mother?
The mother,
yeah.
The mother... I thought she was gonna, like, have a self-sacrifice or something, but not really. Because after she transports her old house into the fervor, I thought that she was gonna be, like, I don't know, dead or something. Like, stay dead? I don't know. Like, keep Cyrus there, who's the main antagonist of the movie there. Which, it felt kind of like a broken promise to me. But then again, that's just a me thing. Like, again, film is, like, subjective. People have subjective opinions. What else do I have on my mixed? I think... I know people are gonna get mad at me when I say this, but, I didn't feel as though I didn't feel like this one was as scary as, like, the others were. Especially the third. The reason I say that is because, like, this one is more story-driven rather than horror-driven, if you understand what I'm saying. Because, like, it wasn't as scary as I hoped it was gonna be. Despite the fact that this film did have a good story. Don't get me wrong. I also feel a bit mixed about the main antagonist, Cyrus. I feel as though he wasn't as threatening as I hoped he was. I feel like maybe if he could prove himself to be more of a threat, you know, like, maybe create more physical harm towards the family, rather than just, like, a psychological, like, harm. I feel like that would have brought his intimidation levels a bit more up. I think that's, I don't think I have any negatives to say about this one, as I would with the previous films.
What did you think of Elise being in this one?
Well, like I said, I liked how they stayed consistent with this film. Like, especially with Elise staying in the fervor. Like, her character remains consistent in this one as she was in the previous films. She didn't feel as though she was out of touch with the story at all. I don't think I have negatives for this film, to be honest. I think this is a good next step for what the franchise has offered us. So, whoever directed this film, you did a good job, my friend. You really impressed me. Because there were quite a few films which I thought weren't as strong with stories, especially horror films, where they're more like trying to get out of their way to scare you, instead of focusing on what the story is. You know, I tip my hat to you. You're more of a story-driven person, I see. Now, I'm gonna rate this film probably an 8 out of 10. I feel like that's fair. It's not like absolute cinema or anything. It still has flaws. It's not a 9 out of 10. I feel like an 8 out of 10 is like a fair judgment for me. On to you, Ollie.
Okay, I don't have a whole lot to say, at least at the moment. Again, got to get the ball rolling and share my immediate thoughts as usual. Positives. Cinematography was good. I think I can say that for pretty much all the other Insidious films as well, which I've said in the reviews that we did for 1, 2 and 3. The sound design, I agree with ℘𝕣𝕚, like, especially like the gross out moments. I feel like, I'll say this now in case I forget, but I think there are more gross out moments than there were actually scary moments, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it felt more like this film was going more in the direction of body horror than psychological supernatural horror. Which again, it's not a bad thing, it's just something I thought I'd note down for those who are curious on what this film, I guess, is more leaning towards. So yeah, the cinematography is good, the sound design's great, even though it's horrendous to listen to, but it's in a good way. It's some good scenes as well, like already what ℘𝕘𝕚 mentioned, the dentist scene, the pillow maze sequence. kind of whispered in my ear, she's entered the back rooms. And yeah, and also there was a wallpaper as well at the beginning of the film, and other bits near the end where it's like the same wallpaper as the beginning, where it looks like the wallpaper from the back rooms, which is, yeah, I was like, yeah, it kind of does. Don't know why I need to mention that, but fuck it. I think the family in this one, Gemma and shit, I've forgotten the daughter, the young girl. I'm talking about the ones we mainly follow in the film. I did like, as well as I like the boyfriend as well, Nick. I think that's what his name was. But the police officer, I mean, maybe he didn't have enough screen time, but for what he got, I thought he was good. I was ultimately curious on how Lin Shaye, Elise, was going to be, how she was going to be portrayed in this film, and if her screen time, her presence was actually going to be earned. I don't think she was good for the most part. I think she did a good job. The material she was given, I thought, was fairly decent. Other good. I thought some of the scares, even though I think there are more gross out moments than there are actually genuine scares, but the tension was good. I wasn't sure if it was going to be more kind of those horror films like I would say the Conjuring spin-off films, and other horror films where they would pan the camera away to another thing and then go back and it's there, like whatever it is there, and that kind of just irritates me because it's like really wasteful, poor attempts at scaring people in that sense. But they did a mostly good job with the scares for what there was. I think the mixed, I don't know if it's a mixed or negative, but the character of Claire, who's the tattoo artist, I don't know if she's in any of the other Insidious films, the fourth and the fifth ones, the ones we haven't also watched. I don't know if she was in those. When we first introduced her, it gave me the impression that maybe she was in the previous ones, in which case maybe it's kind of our own fault for not watching the previous two films. But again, we didn't really have much of a choice because we didn't have access to them. But I mean, her as a character was fine, but it's just that I think maybe we should have had a little bit more info on her as a character. Might be wrong, I might be an unpopular opinion on saying that, but that's just how I feel. I think, yeah, the villain, what was his name again?
Cyrus.
He was alright, like, nothing amazing. He actually reminded me, that the voice of him reminded me of Jackie O'Haley, who plays
Rorschach
in Watchmen. I haven't seen Watchmen, but I know that he plays him. But I know him also as the remake interpretation of Freddy Krueger, the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street remake. His voice reminded me of him in that film. Not visually, obviously, but his voice at times reminded me of Jackie O'Haley's Freddy Krueger, which is kind of cool.
I thought his voice. Have you heard of the character like Ultron from Age of Ultron film? Have you ever heard of the actor called I think he's called James Spader?
Oh yeah, Ultron from Avengers. Right.
Yeah, his voice reminded me of him, to be honest. That's what the vibes I got.
I've seen it, but not for a long time, so maybe I need to revisit that. But yeah, to me, it just reminded me of Jackie O'Haley's Freddy Krueger. Yeah, he was alright. He's kind of in the mix, kind of like he's serviceable, but not amazing. Any other mixed? I just think I wish there were more scares. I mean, even though I've already said in my positives that some of the scares we do get are sometimes good, but I just feel like there weren't enough in here, personally. So I guess that's my main negative of the film, that I wish we had more of. I don't know. I don't think there's not really much else that I really have to say. Yeah, so my rating, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 3.5 stars. Yeah, he was solid. Obviously, process of elimination in terms of comparing with the other ratings for the ratings we gave for the other 3 films. I give this rating a 7, the same as I gave Chapter 3. But I personally still think Chapter 3 is my favourite of the 4 we've watched, and then I would say Out of the Further is my second favourite, then I'd say the second film, and then the first film. So that's my kind of my ranking, and kind of stacking up against with the other ratings, for those who haven't seen the other reviews. But yeah, me having actually said that, maybe I'll pan over to ℕ𝕤𝕚𝕝 and see what his ranking is. So yeah, that's all I have to say. So that's my thoughts on Insidious Out of the Further.
Alright, now as for ranking these films, I think I'm going to put this one in... I agree with Ollie, to be honest, because I think I'll put this in second place. Right below the third film. I think that's a fair shout. Like, it's a very solid installment, but I don't think this one will be going over number 3 for quite a while, until we watch the 4th or 5th. Maybe that might
if that will ever happen.
Yeah, just if we can ever find it, that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's all we got, isn't it? Anyway, that's all we have for today. Thank you all very much for watching. If you liked the video, please press the like button. Subscribe if you would. That would really help us. And yeah, suggest for any other films that you'd like us to watch in the comments down below. That'd be well appreciated. That's all we got for today. Thank you all for watching. Sayonara.
Goodbye.